Canada, no. It's not a law, I guess. They're just saying it's problematic. If it was a law, then I think they would have to burn down Parliament. I hope they would. This whole thing is so bizarre, and I can only assume it's part of the spiritual warfare thing, the rise of evil and Satanism and degeneracy and all that other stuff. As far as this new wave of trans people who kind of came out of nowhere over the past 5 years. I am a former bisexual transvestite, and when I used to be out doing my thing, more active in the scene, or knowing people, friends in that scene, post and pre, no one ever talked about reading books to kids in libraries. No one ever talked about wanting to mainstream what they did. Most of the people I knew that were drag queens and stuff, I wasn't a drag queen or a performer or anything. I just had, wear dresses and shit. It was a fashion choice. No one ever talked about mainstreaming their whole thing. Back then, I mean, we're talking the early part of the century. For the most part, people that were transgender performers were doing it for entertainment purposes. They're artists or entertainers. A lot of them were like impersonators. I had a friend that was a Madonna impersonator, and a friend that used to do a couple different things like Cher and like a few other people. No one ever felt like, wow, we really have to bring this in front of mom and dad America. It was kind of a cool thing. It was like a sort of a subversive, sort of edgy kind of lifestyle that would happen like in the clubs, If you were to see one of these people in the daytime, if I was to run into them in the city at like a bakery or something, they might dress a little bit girly, but no one's out there with the full kit on. That's ridiculous. Like, why? They wouldn't do that. And it's not just because they'd get their ass beat and stuff or whatever, or they didn't want people looking at them. The desire wasn't there. They liked having their own thing and their own clique, and it was there was this, like I said, it was sort of a cool thing. There's edginess to it, That's what attracted me to that whole scene. Being in a band at the time and spending a lot of time in the city, there was just like this sort of pull factor to it. It's just like gay clubs. When gay marriage became a thing, suddenly gay clubs were just clubs, and then they weren't as cool anymore. It's kind of like that. Like, no one ever wanted to mainstream what they were doing. Certainly not. Like, you didn't see anybody in the daytime dressed like that, or outside of the club sort of environment, or there's a place called Drox that my band used to play, where they would just put on shows and stuff like that, and you'd see everybody dressed up, the way they look, all done up, looking good. They'd put a lot of time into their look. It wasn't just now where you have like this hairy dude that just throws on a dress and gets in your face about it. It was a lot of thought and care was put into it. They're performers, they're artists, And what's happening now has nothing to do with that. I even now, I mean, if you were to talk to some of those people, and I only really still am friends with one of them. He's a close friend that pretty much every photograph of me from 2003 to maybe 2014. No, not 2014. Earlier than that. Was taken by this person. I still talk to them, but everyone else I kind of lost track of with that whole scene. Actually, the music scene too in Boston. I don't, I live here now. I don't really talk to anybody from there. But yeah, this whole new wave of people that came out of nowhere. Like, it was a very niche thing. It was a very small amount of the population. And like I said, the desire to go out and put it in the faces of families and kids and stuff, it just simply wasn't there. It was never talked about. It never even came up. You know, the conversation never happened where it was like, you know, I'd really like to be able to go to my public library with my full outfit on and talk to kids about reading. It's just no one would want to, you know. The desire wasn't there to do that kind of thing. Now it seems to be, what is it? Here's the difference there. There's difference between tolerance and acceptance. You know, when you talk about, you know, gay tolerance or tolerating homosexuality, tolerating just basically means, you know, I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to get in your face. You exist, and I just have to deal with that. But they don't want that. They want acceptance to a degree where they want you to be like, they want you to co-sign on it. You know, they want you to accept them, you know, come to Thanksgiving and read to my kids with your full fucking big boobs on. They want complete acceptance. And that is never going to happen. I mean, that's not going to happen for homosexuality. It's funny, too, you listen to different people talk, and I was watching this video about something, and they're talking about homosexuals in the past, and like, it wasn't as accepted as it is today, where it's okay to, it's like, is it accepted? Or are you just saying it's accepted? I don't think it's accepted. You know, it's tolerated. The difference. If you want to be a good person, you know, you just tolerate it. But no one has to accept that. You know, that's fascist. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We'll make them accept it. It's like, fuck you. It's really weird because the whole thing feels driven by an outside force. This whole thing. And it is. And that outside force is Satan. You know, turn to the church lady when it comes to this stuff, but it's this whole thing, everything that happens here, whether it's social, you know, political, it's all down to a struggle between those two sides, God and Satan. Everything can be boiled down to that. And we're just living in a time where Satan's sort of running free, and he's allowed, and things are happening here that would never happen in the past. And some people will tell you that's progressive. Oh yeah, it's progressive. It's like, you're going to progress yourselves right into a fucking grave. It's just going to happen because the society is going to just, it's like Rome. It's the same thing as Rome. You know? Rome with no fiddle. You know? Rome with a really cheesy hip-hop beat and songs about dicks. That's what it is. Yeah, so I hope this doesn't become a law. Canada's so fucked up. The stuff that's happening up there. I feel bad for those people. And plus, they're being invaded by, you know, migrants from all over the world, of course. In the 80s, or used to be, Canada was pretty much Caucasian. I mean, for the most part. It was always that way. You never, when you saw Canadians on TV, they're always Caucasian. Now you see Canada, it's like Indians and Africans, and mostly Africans. They put the Africans everywhere around the world. That's who they most push. Because they know that they are the most divergent as far as behavior, which stems from biology and anatomy and physiology, and all those things are considered a race realism. Therefore alt-right, and therefore you can't discuss it. It's the no, not that science. You know what I mean? They love the science, depending on what kind of science you're talking about. Oh God, lady was in my ear. I've got to concentrate on walking home. It's getting busy around here. I'll be back later though. But yeah, I hope that don't become a law for up there. They have enough problems as it is. They don't even have the hip anymore. You know, we lost Gord, and you know, Canada's losing stuff all the time. They don't need Neil Peart's gone. You know, sad. Away from my Canadian bros. Until later, don't blame the teacher, blame the school. Up here in the back cave, I just had an addition to that story. It's like, what they talk about trans rights, but like what rights are they fighting for that they don't already have? Like what right do I have that they don't? And what it comes down to is they don't want any rights. They want acceptance. They want complete acceptance. They're never going to get acceptance. There will always be people that don't accept that, but they'll tolerate it, but not going to accept it. And so what they want to do with the laws is force you to accept it. Be forced to accept it by a lawmaking system. That's fucked up. That's tyrannical. That's fascism, man. And I just figured since everybody uses fascism the wrong way, I'm just going to do it too. The funny thing is, they really don't want the acceptance. They want the attention. There was this post on poll that came from Reddit, and it was about this kid that had transitioned to a woman, and I guess he was deciding about it for a while. Finally, he decided to do it, and he was going to come out with this information. So what he did is, at work, he had his name tag changed to his new female name. And he was crestfallen because no one said anything about it. He said people saw it, they saw, and they didn't say anything. And finally I had to say something to one of my friends, and he was like, oh, good for you. And that was it. And the day went on. He was really upset. Which shows to me that, he just wants the attention, because acceptance, what you are pushing for, that is what acceptance is like. People not caring, people being like, oh, okay, good for you. That's normalizing it. That's what you want, what you're trying to do in society is normalize it. So when it's normalized, no one's going to make a big deal about it. I mean, that's the whole thing. And he was upset about that because no one made a big deal about it. So it's not about acceptance. It's about being celebrated. People are damaged. They're all going through this in their own way. And I have sympathy for those people. Society doesn't do them any favors. And but yeah, acceptance, just full acceptance, it's just never going to happen. I don't know. There's no answer to that. There's another one of those society problems that are just going to linger as the patient society itself hovers between that twilight place of living and the dead. Till next time, thanks for dropping by. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school. It's a rave, Aquaman.